Now, most people know that at the end of the interview, you're going to have an opportunity to ask questions, and it is incredibly important that you do so. Not just to get information, but it also shows the people interviewing you that you are passionate about the job, you were interested in the job, and you prepared. Having no questions ready is actually a huge mark against candidates. But in today's video, I want to talk about my favorite questions to ask at the end of the interview. I've made lots of videos around asking questions, whether it's for specific companies or just in general. But I want to talk about my favorite. And I'm going to talk about my 4 favorite questions to ask at the end of the interview. The reality is, you might not have the opportunity to ask 10, 15 questions, right? It might not even be a good idea to do so. Sometimes you only get a few. And if I could only ask 4, these are the 4 I would ask. Let's go. Now, the first question I would ask is, what do I need to accomplish in the first 12 months of being hired for you to consider this hire to be a success? This is a great question because, one, it allows them to imagine, okay, me hiring Ben, what would Ben need to accomplish, right? You're already starting that. But it's really important to know what they deem to be a successful year 1. Is it achievable? Have they thought about it? Are you equipped with the tools to do this? I love this question because it shows you as a candidate are thinking ahead and you're thinking the right way. But it also gives you an opportunity to assess the hiring manager, right? What is their response? Are these well thought through? Are they in the moment kind of freestyling and figuring it out? Or have they already put in plan, okay, this is what the person needs to accomplish? That's what you want. It's also really important that it's realistic. You know, you can go into a role and you could be a great candidate, but then when you start, you find out that the requirements of what they actually want you to accomplish are impossible, and you are set up to fail. And that is incredibly dangerous. I mean, you might leave a good job, come to a new job, and then realize you have like a 0% probability of succeeding because their expectations are so out of whack. And you want to avoid that. That's why I love this question, and I always ask it. Now, the next question that I always want to ask is, I notice you've been here at this company for a while. What keeps you here? This is a great question for a handful of reasons, but first and foremost, you can only ask this if they've been with the company for a while. If they've only been there for 6 months, you can't really do it. You could instead ask, what drew you to this company? And the whole reason I ask this question is because I want to connect with them. You're allowing them to talk about something they are passionate about. Now, interviews aside, just from a conversation standpoint, when people get to talk in a one-on-one interaction, and when they get to talk more, they tend to view those interactions as positive. This is just psychology. So by allowing the person interviewing you to speak about something that's interesting to them, something they're passionate about, you are like engineering the conversation to be more positive from their perspective, right? That's important. But it's also really good to see if they're passionate here, right? If you say, hey, what keeps you here? And they can't think of a motivating reason to be here, well, that's not too positive, right? That wouldn't make me feel great about actually coming here, right? If someone goes, oh man, there are so many things, there's this, then you know it's a good place to work. And I feel really good about that. But if they struggle to think of a single reason, that's a problem. Lastly, I love this question because it gives me something to mention in a thank you email. After the interview, right, it's all over. I go home and I fire up my computer and I send them an email. I go, hey, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I really enjoyed our conversation and I'm more motivated to pursue it after talking with you. Specifically, I love how you mentioned blank, in which you would recall what they said. And this is going to make it personalized, it's going to make it meaningful, and it's going to make your thank you email much more powerful. That's why I love this question. Hey, if you're liking this video, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you're finding any value in it, I would appreciate it because it tells YouTube I don't suck. It helps the channel a ton and it motivates me to make more videos like this. And if you're already willing to do that, you should subscribe. I come out with 3 videos a week, all designed to help you land your dream job and maximize your career. All right, let's go. All right, so the next question I love to ask is really important to me, and it's because of my value system. But I like to ask them the question, can you tell me about how your company invests in its employees' growth and development? It's a very simple one, but I am always growth focused. I'm the type of person who wants to learn more, grow more, increase their scope, grow in their career. It's really important to me. So if I was to interview with a company and I said, hey, can you tell me about how your company invests in their people's growth and development? And they go, I don't know. I mean, I guess you can ask to take on more projects. That's not the company investing in you. That's you pursuing growth. I want to know how the company invests. What programs do they have? Is there an opportunity to learn cross-departmentally? Is there an opportunity for you to get tuition reimbursement? Are there programs at the organization in which you can be exposed to different things or you can level up your skills? When you ask this question, usually one of two things is going to happen. One, they're not going to have a lot to tell you. And to me, that is incredibly problematic. I don't want to work at that place because I want to work at a place where I'm able to grow. Or the second thing is they're going to start listing off different things that people can do so that they can grow, learn, develop, and ascend in their career. That is where I want to be. If you cannot tell me that, I do not want to go. So that is why this question is so important and I love asking it. Now, the next question I ask is, do you have any questions or concerns about my ability to do the job? And I ask this at the very end. I call it the closing question. The closing question is great because if they go, no, Ben, I don't have any concerns. I think you're well qualified. I'll go, hey, that's great to hear because I'm really interested in this role and I'm excited about next steps. And you're just doubling down on your interest and your pursuit. Everybody wants to hire someone who wants to be there. So when they say, I have no concerns, saying, great, I want to move on, it's good. But they might also go, well, yeah, to be honest, Ben, I do have a concern. You mentioned that you don't have any experience doing A, B, and C. And it gives you an opportunity to receive this information, thank them for them being so honest, but counter it in a way that isn't defensive. Be like, you know what, thank you so much for sharing that feedback with me. I don't know if I did the best job actually explaining this, but at A, B, and C company, I actually did have experience doing D, E, and F. In fact, I did it, and then you can extrapolate a bit, but it allows you to absorb their complaint or their concern, right? Thank them for it. Show you're the type of person who's not going to be adversarial, and then counter it in a way that isn't defensive, but improves your position in their eyes. And if you don't ask this question, you might leave that interview and you never get a chance to address their concern. And it might be a concern that isn't founded in facts. It might just be a miscommunication or something where they think it's the case, but it's not actually the case. But if you ask this question, you have a chance to address it, and that is incredibly powerful. Another thing that's incredibly powerful in an interview is nailing the first 3 minutes of an interview and the last 3 minutes of an interview. It's actually been proven that those 6 minutes of a job interview disproportionately impact the outcome, which is why I made this video here. This video here is everything you need to know to absolutely crush those 6 minutes so you can land the job that you're interviewing for. So I am done here, but I will see you over there.